Stuart, 2 wins from 2 in the QB Internationals. Obviously, you can only beat the teams in front of you. But in what ways did the second half performance concern you against Argentina?
Well, I'll start with the positives first. I think our first half performance was some of the best rugby we've played. I think the second half, I think we drifted a little bit away from what we'd done well in the first half. And we tried to go and beat them around the outside by not earning the right to do that. So I think there's some early easy lessons to be learnt there. I think the players recognise that now we've reviewed the game, and there were still a lot of good parts to our second half performance. It wasn't as cohesive in attack, which is disappointing, but our defence was very strong again. We limited them to one line break. Our set piece was strong. We came out on top there against a pretty tough physical side. So we'll focus on the positives and take the lessons and move on to this game now.
How do you guard against that perhaps happening again? Because Australia, you notably raised the intensity in that 50 to 60 minute period and really won the game, but it seemed to be a noticeable lack of intensity in the second half, and that permeated through the crowd, I think.
I don't think it was a lack of intensity. I think it was some just poor decisions that we made. So I don't think the players became complacent or switched off, but I do think that we made some poor decisions around that time, and as a consequence, they then had the ball more, and as a consequence, then you defend more. And it feels like you've slipped off the game a bit. So that's the bit we need to get right.
You've given the players a morning off this morning, or a bit of extra recovery time. Is that a sign that you think that mental freshness and mental preparation is as important as the tactical and technical side ahead of New Zealand?
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, I think any coach will tell you that if you continue, burn the candle at both ends with the players, then clearly there's going to be a dip in performance. So, right place, right time. You've got to understand when to put your foot on the throttle and when to slacken off a bit, and we've done some good work in the last 3 weeks. We've made some good progress, we've learnt some good lessons, and now it's about just getting the balance right leading up into this game.
What did you get so right, do you think, last year? What do you need to do again to try and bottle that feeling you had in the squad as they went towards playing New Zealand?
I think we had great self-belief going into the game. I think we believed we could win. I think that's one of the key components in any performance. Beyond the New Zealand game, that's what we've tried to instill in the players. When you've got a young group, and they're finding their way internationally, you're playing against such an experienced team, you've got to have that belief. And I think that's a key component to our performance this week as well.
Do you think the belief's there? The players I spoke to after the game on Saturday certainly felt that they were going on the right track and they can certainly beat New Zealand. Yeah,
it should be. You've got to be respectful of the quality of the team you're playing, and I'm sure everyone goes into games against New Zealand believing they can win. Translating that belief into action and making sure that you deliver is the critical thing, really. And that'll be our objective for Saturday, because it was a fantastic experience and occasion at Twickenham, and I'm sure it'll be the same again this Saturday. Are
they the benchmark, though, do you think? Are they the benchmark in terms of being good at everything but also having points of difference that make them the best team in the world?
Yeah, I mean, fairly obviously the benchmark. You don't win that many games on the trot, both home and away from home, and be ranked number 1 in the world consistently for such a long period, having won the last World Cup without being the benchmark. So they're always the benchmark, and they always manage to rise to the challenge. And our challenge is to make sure that we put them under pressure and see what Saturday brings us.
Andy Fowling, going round, you went to Ellis Park for the Test match against South Africa. People are calling possibly the best Test match of all time. What reports did they bring back from the game about how you need to approach it on Saturday?
I think the context of that game was slightly different to a normal Test match. South Africa were chasing a 4-try bonus, so perhaps they played the game slightly differently. But overall, as a spectacle, it was definitely right up there in terms of end-to-end rugby. It was fantastic, really. And I think the main thing was that it was a great achievement by New Zealand to go across 2 different time zones, play at altitude, and go and win there. We almost achieved that on our summer tour, and in the context of that game, I thought that was one of New Zealand's best. And it just shows you that to beat them, you've got to be prepared to score tries, because they're going to score some.
How do you think last year's games are going to affect the mentality of New Zealand? I think it's their only loss in 33 Test matches, and the likes of Dan Carter and Richie McCaw have never lost a game by that margin. Do you think there's going to be a real desire, more than ever before, to turn you over on Saturday?
I'm sure they'll be motivated. I don't doubt that. And it's a great arena to come play rugby in, isn't it? It's a fantastic stadium, and 80,000 people, and the noise that you get, and the atmosphere and the intensity. The occasion will be something that all the players will rise to, irrespective of what happened last year. So I'm sure they'll be ready.